Hood Postman, Dirty Day, City, Hood,
What
Click.
up?
Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. Lock the door on him. Lock the door on him. Hood Postman. Hood Postman. Reporting live. Reporting live. This the Hood Postman, come and check the program. You ain't from the streets, this is something you should know, man. Running from police, got a grip the whip with both hands. Speeding down the interstate, please do not approach him. 40s in the fridge, got the caddy in the driveway. Get all out of my face, I don't wanna violate. Looked up in the mirror and I told myself, why wait? We took this shit worldwide, you only in 5 states. Came from the four corners with my 4 quarters. Showed them the style, then they stole on us. Times got wild, then they told on us. Dog, it was hard, but we had to keep it rolling. You ain't gotta ask, you know where to find me. I be in the back streets where it get grimy. It's just me and Mel, Rennie looking bride D. I be going hard till I'm in the 5 C's. Know the vibes. I'ma do it till I die. I ain't never switched sides, I ain't never had to tell a lie. Let's ride. Know the vibes. I'ma do it till I die. I ain't never switched sides, I ain't never told them no lie. Let's ride. Hood Postman. 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 Hood Postman.
Shout out to the Mailroom Nation. Shout out to the Mailroom Goons. I am Professor Melly Mail. Be sure to click the notification bell so you'll get the subscription when it drops. Be sure to click that notification bell. That's important because every time I drop a video, you'll be able to see it on the time that it dropped. Shout out to the Mailroom Nation. I am Professor Melly Mail. Welcome to the Mailroom where you can come in and take a look at your mind and examine what's in your heart. This is not a glorification, nor is it glamorization. Always an education. It's always an education. You can go anywhere in the world to get a couple of lies, but you come right here to get the truth. And today we got the neighborhood Dirty Dave in the house. Before they had handguns, they had fair ones. Man up! Shout out to Dirty Dave in the house. What's up? What's up, Dirty Dave? Let me shout out the chat right quick, Dirty Dave.
What?
Shout out to Mayweather, King Mike, Marlena Williams, Postmaster General, Rasta Man. What's good? What's good? What's good, people? What's good? How you guys
What's
doing?
going on, Melly?
Man, what's going on, Dirty Dave? Dirty Dave, I know you've been watching what's been going on, this thing with Keffe D, now it's don't blew way out of proportion. Now we got people like Vlad that's going on. Vlad probably would have never got on Piers Morgan's show, a syndicated show that's across the globe, hadn't it been for this incident. So then now you got Jada Pinkett chiming in. So what I want to know, man, do you believe that the celebrities are now clout chasing as well behind this big ordeal with Keffe D? Because you got celebrities all over this chiming in on this subject matter. What's your thoughts on it, Dave?
Well, the media they're gonna jump on. They're gonna jump on whatever they think that can keep you preoccupied instead of what's really important. I liken it to if you know your history, the fall of Rome, right? During the process of the fall of Rome, when the Vandals and the Visigoths, when they were at the gates, instead of warning the people and letting the people know, hey, look, we got a problem, and possibly having a problem with their own people, they entertained the people. They put on bigger shows at the Coliseum. They put on they kept the people out, they keep them
Distracted.
preoccupied.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly. And if you ever notice, we can't fix the homeless problem, but we can put a new stadium up in Inglewood. 2 of them. But
Mm.
that's what they do. That's to keep you off balance, keep you separated. and it works. It works.
Dave, the only way we can escape the matrix is to unlearn everything that we've been taught and rebuild our entire belief system. And based
No,
on critical thought and analysis, that's the only way we can escape this matrix, because we are in a matrix and we have to understand that
no,
it's a big old game that's being played.
no. That's not. Well, I thoroughly disagree. But what we need to do is learn more. We need to learn more. We when you ask the right person, what's the most valuable thing that people have? What is the most valuable thing that most people are going to say? Gold, diamonds, oil. It's information.
Uh-huh.
It's information. And so, while we chasing the bag, they chase knowledge. They chase information.
Yeah, because information is a is a high commodity. It's very valuable, very valuable.
Yeah, it's there is nothing more valuable.
Yeah.
There's
So
nothing
let's get
more
into it.
valuable.
Let's get into it, Dave. You knew Keffe D as well, right? You grew up with Eazy-E. You knew Keffe D.
Yeah.
You guys are pretty much in the same area, right? Am I correct?
We cross we cross paths many times. Many times.
I just had a chance to go through Keffe D's book, Dave. I was reading Keffe D's book, and I think he made some. I don't know, man. I don't know why he would put some of the things that he put in that book, but man, it left my mouth gapped open when I read the book. But some of the things he said wasn't bad, because he said that him and Eazy-E and Suge actually played for Greater Compton football together. They met at like 9 years old. And Suge confirmed that today when he got on TMZ and said that he been known Keffe D for since they were 9 years old or something, way back, right?
Yeah,
So, but what
yeah.
stood out is that Keffe D said him and Suge were one and the same. They were both in the same gang. They both had, similar mentalities. He made that statement in the book. Um, but what caught me was that he he made it seem like him and Suge had a really good relationship. You know, beyond the Pyru and Crip thing, and I don't know how did that all come unglued, how it get to where it is today, or where it got to at the time when Tupac entered the picture. I don't know how it all
Well,
got separated, because they seemed like they was traveling in the same circles.
yeah. Compton is the hub city. That means that it is a big circle, and the truth is, we being from Compton, we always run into each other all the time. So you got to always be constantly giving and taking. We call it a ghetto pass, a hood pass. You always got to, you got to pick and choose when and where you make war. You can't just, otherwise it'd be way worse than it is now. So traveling in those circles, you just can't always just bump into somebody somewhere, because you're gonna run into somebody at the Compton swap meet. They might have a wife and kids with them, and you might have your boys with you, and if they your boys and you telling them what to do versus them telling you what to do, you got the power to give him a pass. If you give him that pass, then he gonna probably later on give you the same pass, and you know that's not cowardly or anything like that. It's just a way to naturally do things.
Okay. I also read in the book, Dave, that Keffe D, and he made this claim that he sold $4.2 million worth of drugs a month. Now, I knew Keffe D, and I should see him all the time. For me, I don't. It didn't. His lifestyle didn't reflect 4.2. It might have reflected $1 million, but a year or whatever. But $4.2 million a month, I don't know. And
Well,
maybe you can provide me with a little more insight.
well, I give you an example. there's always a thing called fluff. We all, like, you asked me about a poker, poker winnings, and I told you, oh, about 30 grand, when the truth was it was about 15 grand. How
Uh-huh.
much had I won? So we all put fluff on. It's just a natural way of having conversation. So, if he say four, yeah, like you said, maybe a 1.5, maybe even two. So I don't know. I mean, I wasn't in his safe. I wasn't in his, who knows? I mean, I know he moved a lot of weight, and he had a lot of dudes working for him. So
Okay. And that's fair. That's fair. And another thing that stood out in the book is that he actually said that when Death Row was being put together, he was the one that was initially tapped in by the head guy that wanted this to happen. And what the guy wanted was Eazy-E to run Death Row before they even tapped in Suge Knight. And I believe Eazy-E turned it down, but they tapped Keffe D in order to kind of convince Easy to run Death Row initially. Being
well,
that you were with Easy, did you ever hear anything such like that?
no, and I knew about the Harry O deal with Suge from the beginning, and there was no Death Row in the beginning. It wasn't Death Row. Suge and Kenner did the old okey doke on Harry O and started a whole new company. I can't remember what the original company's name was. It could have been Harry O Entertainment, I think, or something like that. But why would Eric take a possible step backwards to run Death Row when at the time they don't know if Death Row going to even make it? And
Right.
Eric was already by this time established. He was already, you know what I mean? They still an artist from him. So I doubt that maybe he was looking for some help, some insight, some, you know what I mean? Maybe a little bit of guidance, but I doubt that a conversation like that would have ever taken place.
Another exaggeration he put in the book is that they played the Santanas in a softball game in 1991. That's impossible because
Yeah, because there
1991
was a
by
war going on, as far
1991
as I remember.
Santanas was at war with
Yeah,
everybody.
there was a war going on, as far as I remember. That's
Yeah,
close to the time when Hawk got killed. I think that over
yeah,
on Atlantic Drive. But
right.
so I don't know about that.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know about that.
yeah. No, they wouldn't have been playing no softball. That's, so I found a couple of interesting things in the book that kind of stood out, and he talked about all these parties and he talked about being at the Paradise Club with Suge and they all together and Suge's Rolls Royce got shot up, and he was always call him checking on him, Big Dog. He called himself Big Dog, keep the D or whatever, Big Dog, But anyway, and then he actually started putting bits and pieces of the scenario that occurred with Tupac that night in Vegas, at the traffic light and everything, how it transpired and how they looked at Suge looked at him. He talked about that in this book. So I don't see how any of that can be not used against him. What does
Well,
he have that where he feel like he's shielded against these allegations that's now coming across?
well, it's it's probably a great defense because now the DA got to go to court and say we arrested him and we indicted him based on his own words. Well, he started saying this years and years and years ago. So if the evidence changed other than what he's saying, why didn't you arrest him a long time ago? So you're just giving him this extra time to prepare a defense?
And then you got to think about what if everything
That's
he
why I
wrote
think there's a
he put
witness.
down fictional. He wrote the book as fictional. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah,
necessarily could be a true story.
exactly. I mean, let's face it. I mean, if people paying you to say Okay, yeah, because it's proven fact that Orlando was the one that got jumped at the MGM, and Tupac got killed the same night. So I mean, I can even before most of this information came out, I could have ran the entire same scenario by a person through my own words and put myself in Keffe D place, and so therefore that would have meant I killed Tupac. Because I everything so far that I've heard and read and seen, I could have repeated myself 5 years ago, maybe longer. So so far I haven't seen any new information other than I think there's an eyewitness somewhere.
Somebody say it was Solar Records or something.
It
Does
was
that sound familiar?
Solar is a recording studio.
Okay. 52 just tapped in. Right on, Keith. I see you. Steve Barber, what's good? Yeah. So, that's why I call Keffe D the original clout chaser, because now you got all these celebrities chasing Keffe D and trying to be a part of his clout. You know what I mean? Because
Why not?
he's the talking point right now. He's trending.
We all human, and so what's everybody's favorite subject? Themselves.
Yes.
No matter what, no matter what the subject is, whether it be drugs, prostitution, murder, everybody's favorite subject is themselves.
Yeah, and then that's a good point you make right there, Christopher, that Keffe D didn't get an aggravated assault against Suge, because Suge got grazed across the head. Why didn't they charge that one?
Like I said, there's got to be a witness that's putting Keffe D at the scene. It's got to be somebody who they're they're putting a lot of faith in his testimony. This person, I said his, but this person, it could be one of the girls in the car. Maybe one of the girls that was in the other car ID'd him. But if they didn't ID him 27 years ago, I mean, for them to ID him now, there's not, that can be broken down in court.
Yeah, that's preposterous right there. That's what. Hey, Top Bank, what's going on with you? There's also the fact that now Dre name keep coming up in all these different scenarios. Because I got countless of people keep bringing up Freaky Dre's name, Dre, and Keffe D alleged one thing. Then you got people on the outside alleging a whole nother different thing.
Yeah. Well, um, I doubt that. I doubt that we're gonna find out any new information from Keffe D, because I doubt that he'll ever take the stand. I'm beginning to believe it might be just a ploy by Nevada to pretend like they are doing their job, and because it's going to take a few years to fight, to go through the process, and win, lose, or draw. Hell, they could be hoping that he doesn't survive it. Maybe they could be hoping he die while in custody, being Keffe D, and so they could at least it could look like they did their job, when in reality they dropped the ball 27 years ago, because when they had a chance to investigate the crime, they didn't. And we all know they didn't. Everybody knew that from the beginning.
Also in the book, Dave, Keffe D talks as if he was the leader or something over there, I doubt that. I doubt that very seriously. I doubt that. I think he had the most money over there, but that don't make you the leader of the Crippin situation.
Southside, or you mean, what do you mean?
Well, what I'm saying is that in his book, he's alleging that he was the leader of Southside Crips. But what I'm thinking,
Well,
maybe he had the most money over there and not necessarily was the leader.
Southside had a couple of, from what I remember, a few different separate, like, how like every hood got OGs, baby hood, tiny hood. Southside was no different. They had different little factions that were broken up, and sometimes they didn't even get along, as far as from what I could remember.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, Did his word carry? I would say so. I mean, I have no reason to. I've seen it, so I mean, how to what extent? I was never in a room when he gave anybody any order to do anything, and if I was, I wouldn't tell anyway.
Right. What was your relationship with Keffe D, and what? I mean, did you have any dealings with him at all?
From like financially, no.
Financially?
I just knew him. I just knew him. I just knew him. That's all. I would see him. I saw him at the Super Bowl down in San Diego. I saw him in the hood all the time. I just knew him for a long time. I knew his brothers, his sisters, the whole fam.
Did you ever work together with him, as far as you know, in the streets?
No, I wouldn't.
You just
I
kept your
picked and
things
choose.
separate,
I picked and choose who I did business with. It wasn't, you know, it was it was a matter of personality. Sometimes they don't always. You might get along one aspect, on another aspect you might not. You might clash. So
uh So your dealings was strictly more or less with Eazy-E when it came to the underworld.
in the beginning, in the beginning, then later on, I broke off into my own. But in the beginning, it was me and Eric for for a long. Eric taught me a lot as far as the business part of the streets.
You always refer to him as Eric, and is that because you guys had a real personal relationship? You never like call him Easy. You always just say Eric.
Yeah, well, I never called him easy. I mean, that was to me that was show business. That had nothing to do with where he and I came. You know, as far as you know, to me, I wasn't a fan, so he wasn't easy. You
Uh-huh.
know, I let the fans call him Easy.
So hey, listen. So in Keeping D's book, he also alleged that he didn't like rappers because he felt like rappers, like when Ice Cube say four gangbangers, professional crack slangers stepped off the plane in St. Louis. St. Louis niggas want the cornerback. He felt like Ice Cube was snitching. And he felt like a lot of rappers when they rap, because he said they wasn't the real gangster. They was rapping about his life. And he felt as if they were divulging information into the system that would get him caught up. He put that in his book, and I caught that caught me off guard, because now here we are where they got allegations that Keefy D is a snitch, which we all know that he didn't sit down and do a proffer with the United States government on a drug case.
Um, you know, when the rap thing all started, you know, guys like Cube and others that uh, I looked at it like they were reporting on what was going on, the things in our neighborhood, in our, you know, the things that we were experiencing, and the things that we eyeball witnessed, the things that we knew for to be fact, and the fact that they weren't on the, you know, they weren't on the news, they weren't talking about it on Channel 7 or any of the media outlets. It was just a forgotten. As long as it was in the hood, it was all good. And so when they, you know, to me, I just looked at those guys as just reporters. They, you know, the media labeled them gangster rappers, and they took that and ran with it with with uh with a lack of responsibility, and that's where I hold those guys accountable. You know, to a degree that you know there's no way to even there's no way to even to count the number of youngsters who listened to this and believed in it. They believe that shit, and they want to follow it. They want to be like that, and there's no way to quantify it. There's no way to put a number on it, and not one of those guys have ever stepped up and said, "Hey, look, people, this is just an act," we're just playing a role. This is just a character. This is not what I'm like, and I don't. And they never have to this point. Not one of them. They all just continue to pretend that they're gangsters. That I'm down. I'm down. So being down and being a gangster is not the same thing.
Well, I would say this Keffe D book is very entertaining. There's a lot of fluff on it, as you put it, and there's some truth in there. So I think if you guys want to read it, go ahead and grab it. It's out there. But anyway, Dave, Special Ed said that NAA is responsible for the destruction of the communities. What's your thoughts on that?
The I disagree. I saw the interview. I saw parts of it anyway. I disagree. Because you go to some of the places where special ed grew up. The New York is nothing like it was back in the 80s.
Uh-huh.
You got gentrification took over, and now where there was destruction and where there was burnt out vehicles and abandoned buildings. Now there's, like Jay-Z said, uh, that where he called himself Dumbo, where he could have bought the property in Dumbo,
Uh-huh.
before it was Dumbo, and he said, so that was a story of OJ.
Uh-huh.
So I doubt it. Compton looks a lot nicer these days than I remember it as a kid. So I think now, if that's the way you're thinking of community, then no. Now, if you mean by the destruction of the young mind, then yes. But that's not only affected what I would consider our community being Hispanic, Native American, African American. It's also touched the other, and I call the other the white people. You got more white people running around wanting to emulate what goes on in the hood, and they don't have a clue.
Yeah, you're right.
But
They
I
got
mean,
800K in houses in Compton now. 800K houses in Compton. So,
yeah.
yeah, I think
So I
I think
mean,
I think he just I think he saw it wrong because what NWA was just a mirror, a reflection of what was going on in the community based on the what those communities were subjected to by institutions and systems, and not necessarily what he felt like was the destruction of it was gangster. No, gangster rap just recording what was happening,
well,
and then they put it back on the airways, and it went around the world.
believe me, drugs hit the community way before gangster rap did,
Yes.
way before. So as long as the drugs and prostitution and gang violence was in our community, it was okay. And now that it affects just about every part of and every aspect of American life, I guess when your chickens come home to roost, when you build something on a sour foundation, eventually that foundation is going to start to show weakness.
You talked about one time you was telling me about it, and I wanted to revisit this. You told me that when you was doing your thing, you was getting money, whatever. Somebody creeped in your house and tried to steal your auntie.
Oh yeah, picked her up and was headed out the door with her. Was
And,
walking out the door.
and did you ever find out what was the why did that even occur, or was that just something that just happened in the hood, or what was that all
It was
about?
Yeah, I was a kid, so I was a child. I was very young. I was probably 8 years old, maybe. So I'm assuming that it was probably a sex crime, a burglary slash sex crime in progress. But it was one of many, many, many incidences that as far as burglaries to our home and within with I think the last one that occurred was uh, we was actually living over off of San Vicente near Luthers Park, and some guys broke in, and I think they was at the wrong house because they was looking for drugs, and we didn't have no drugs. I was probably 13, maybe 14, and they shot my sister in the head, just right in the door, and shot her and held us all at gunpoint, looking for something that wasn't there. But that was the last. That was the last
Did she
incident.
survive?
Yeah, she lived.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
what was that? What was the turning point for you to say, "Hey, man, I'm finna get with this cripping, or I'm finna get with this gangbang"? Because
Oh,
these dudes is stuff.
I had already been. By that point, I was already indoctrinated.
Uh-uh.
I was already involved. I just at that point I didn't have a gun at that moment. Otherwise, um, it would have been they would have shot her, but I would have got some get back.
So, being a Native American, how different was it for you and your family living in Compton, surviving those situations when you got people like Eric, Eazy-E Wright walking around, you got Keffe D on the other side, you got Busted Ghost, you got Bodacious, Tick, you got Richard Martin, you got Scrunk, you got all these different people, you got Chubb, you got all these different people moving around you. What was it like for days? And you got Big Sean.
My homie,
Yeah.
R.I.P. My homie, R.I.P. You know, I guess I guess like right now when I think back and I in retrospect, I get terrified. I think about it now and I'm like, wow, I get scared for that kid. But at the time, I was never I don't recall being afraid because I would eat 8 years old. I'd be out in the streets till 2, 3, 4 in the morning. I'd be already running the streets already. So I mean, depending on what fear was, I don't remember being afraid or being scared or anything like that.
So was your cripping anything less or more, or did you have to put more on it, or was it just what it was?
I think every person does it their own way. And if you're doing it somebody else's way, then, you know, shame on you, I guess. But I, I, I guess I was never going to be one that I didn't follow orders. I wasn't going to take nobody, nobody was going to tell me what to do or how to do it. Or so when it came to that, but being that I ran around with all them dudes you just named from a very young age, I guess they kind of treated me a little bit different as far as, I mean, I had to fight every day. I was fighting somebody every goddamn day. But, as far as I wasn't being punked or just buffaloed but I guess once everybody get the idea that you just ain't gonna be punked, you're gonna fight for yours or do whatever that you gotta do, you're gonna do it. You know, I guess you don't get bothered as much. I would think, you know.
How many fights did
But
you
I
and
mean,
Eazy have?
one,
Just one,
only one, yeah, just one.
and that was a
Yes,
disagreement.
it was over a car. It was over a car, but I I think it was probably more about money that we were sharing together that because I allowed him to keep all the money we was making because he knew where to get the sack from and I wanted to hustle, I wanted to sell the dope, I wanted
So maybe he was
so
getting it
I'm
from
like
TPD, man.
I know he was getting it from his brother Kevin.
Oh, Ed.
Well, I shouldn't have said that, but he was getting it from somebody.
Okay.
But that was 40 years ago anyway, so I guess statute
Yeah.
of limitations.
The statute of limitations
But
definitely ran out.
yeah, but I know at one time he was because I guess him and Horace was supposed to be cousins. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Fat
They
Horse.
say were just Big Horse. Yeah, I thought I'm not sure though. I'm not sure if they was actually cousins, but I know that's who that's who he was dealing with before he and I started running together. And after Forrest died, I think a lot of people owed him money that were reluctant to pay, and I assured him that I could probably collect some money for him. And so from that point, and plus me hustling, that's when our partnership kind of solidified.
So did you even know them other guys like Darnell Brim and Big Spang and Fink?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I knew. I
You
mean,
know what's weird about all that, Dave, is that you guys were a rock throw from one each other. You guys could have had a rock fight and settled it that way, and probably been just as satisfied, because
well,
I'm
well,
just saying because you
we
guys were so close in proximity. I couldn't even imagine you guys having the beefs y'all had between one another. The way and how it transpired is just the back running across this. What was the name of the liquor store right there?
big
Right there
time,
by the Cornet Motel or across the street from you guys.
big time.
Big time. Yeah. So,
There
you
was
know,
there was three liquor stores. One on the Long Beach side, that was Larry Liquor, and
I'm
then
talking
or
about the
was
one
it
that
two?
said on the south side. And then right across the street from the apartments. That was Larry's Liquor.
There was Toots Liquors,
Two.
Larry Liquor. I think Larry's Liquor. I think was in Long Beach, and then in between the two was Big Time Liquor.
Okay.
That's on the corner of Greenleaf and Long Beach
That's where they
Boulevard.
did the Banging on Wax video, right?
I never saw it.
Okay. Yeah.
I
Big
never
time
saw it.
liquor. Big time. Of course, none of that
Yeah, I
stuff is
never
there
saw it.
anymore.
It's a 7-Eleven now.
Right, right, right.
It's a 7-Eleven, but we fought all the time. In Hood, South Side, Atlantic Drive, Kelly Park. We fought. I mean, that was you know it was rare that anybody pulled out a gun or a knife or anything like that. We took our lumps, and normally it was more or less, even if we fought each other, we would all have each other back when it came down to it. But somewhere along the line, I think the dope game ruined that. I think the dope game had everybody. It really it messed up a lot of hoods. I mean,
Shout out
the
to Big
dope
Ben.
game is why the dope game is why you have more Crips that
Shout
war
out to
with
Reggie
Crips
White in
rather
the
than
trash. Shout out to Reggie White. I see you, Reg. What's going on, Big Reg?
yeah, you have more Crips warring with other Crips than you have Crips and Bloods warring with each other. I can't think of many instances where I had an issue with somebody that was a Blood. Not very many at all.
So if you look at it
It
from
was
the
all
in-hood side in-hood side of the stick, what did you guys take from Keffe D as far as him being the big dog, as he put it in his book, the big dog around
nothing,
here? Say again?
nothing,
Nothing.
nothing, nothing, nothing. Because I mean, no matter how big of a big dog he want to imagine himself as, on our side, on any side, South Side, Atlantic, neighborhood, Kelly Park, the ultimate OG was Ant Dog, Big Ant Dog, and he was loved all over Compton
Okay.
and LA and everywhere else.
Okay.
And if there was any one person that I would have followed orders to a letter, it would have been only his.
Okay.
No,
And that's
nobody
Anthony
else.
Salisbury, rest in peace.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Gotcha.
No one else, Eric, nobody else could have ever told me you got to go do this, and I would have been obligated to do it. Only Anthony, only Andolph, nobody else.
Okay. So, how many years did you guys spend over in that neighborhood before you decide, okay, enough is enough. Let's relocate. Let's move or whatever.
My family?
Yes,
Well, the family left. I was still there. I never left. I mean, I
you
would,
were
I would.
you were addicted to the neighborhood, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I love Compton. I love Compton. I was born in Compton. I was born in Compton.
When Eazy wrote
So
the song "The Boys in the Hood," what was your initial thoughts on it?
who?
When
Who?
Eazy wrote the song "Boys in the Hood," well, Eazy didn't
He
write
didn't.
it. I just think he sung. Did he write it or did he sing it? What was that?
He just rapped. He rapped it. Cube wrote it.
Okay. What was your initial thoughts of it?
I liked it. I thought it was. I thought it was. I thought it was clever. I thought it was. It was. It was. I thought it was clever. I liked it. I thought that the right person at the right time rapped, did the rap, which was Eric. Um, I liked it. I thought I knew they were on to something versus everything else that was on that EP. You know, like I tell people, the whole genre of gangster rap could have easily not have ever happened because everything else on on that EP with all the dudes on the in front of the wall, you know, with all the clocks, wearing the clocks and all that. Most of that, well, other than Boys in the Hood, there was nothing even similar to that type of music on that EP. Just Boys in the Hood stood out
So,
from
what you
everything
saying that
else.
was kind of like a test? That was like a test to see what was going to grab or what
I
appeal. How is it going to appeal to the audience?
I would say yeah, yeah, because there was, you know, believe me, if the other songs would have took off, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. They would have went that direction, and you know, Dre would have continued to wear the makeup and so on and so forth.
Wear makeup.
Yeah,
What do you mean by
yeah.
that? What is that,
Don't
man?
act like you didn't know. You know, Dre used to wear the makeup and the sequins outfits and all that.
Oh yeah. When he was with the Arabian Prince and
Record.
all them cats.
Yeah, Raven Prince, Lonzo, and the rest of them. Yeah, that could have easily went that direction. That could have easily went that direction. But luckily, that one song took off. You know, K-Day started playing it. It took hold, and immediately they make more like that, and that's what they did. They
Right.
because I think from the time that that EP dropped, they got, you know, they started getting a lot of plug for it, and they got in the studio and did Easy Does It and Straight Outta Compton like within months. I mean, within months it was ready. So it was thrown together pretty quick. It was all thrown together pretty quick.
You know, a lot of people didn't recognize because if you really think about it, that was hood gold. No, but none of these guys like the Keffe D's and even some of my homeboys and other homeboys that was over in the other neighborhoods, they didn't realize what was happening at that time. And once it took off, I think everybody was trying to find a way to be a part of it.
Well, you know, our brains are programmed to, we look for that fast turnaround. So your money will get a quicker turnaround if you buy a kilo of dope than if you buy a record label. You know what I mean? You buy a record label, you may never recoup your investment.
That's true. I think we have the best marketing, sales pitch, manufacturing. We have everything. We just have the wrong product.
Uh,
You think about how much money was made over the years in the hoods, and I'm not saying that it was a good thing. I'm just saying that a lot of those people made a lot of money.
we didn't know what to really do with the money. We thought that, oh, we're gonna make all this money, and well, money is after a certain amount, it becomes useless. It becomes. You remember the story about Pablo Escobar burning $2 million to keep
Uh
warm in cash.
huh.
So money can become useless at a certain point if you ain't got nowhere to hide it or invest it or put it in the bank, launder. If you don't have that kind of skill set and that knowledge, then you know what are you going to just have a pile of cash sitting around waiting to be something to happen to it?
Yeah, money can become less valuable because if I told you, Dave, I'm gonna give you $10 million tomorrow, or you can wake up tomorrow, which one you gonna pick? You hesitate.
Well. I was trying to that
Ascertain what I'm
the
saying?
well. The question is, I mean, am I still going to wake up tomorrow with that 10 million?
No.
So, I
You
mean,
get to pick one of the two.
so you're going to give me the 10 million today?
Nope. You get to pick
Yeah.
one of
So
the two. You can have 10 million or you can wake up tomorrow.
I, I take the money.
You're gonna be dead though.
Yeah, but I can if I can have the money left for somebody else.
Hey man, I'm gonna choose to wake up, man. I'm sorry. I'm waking up, bro. They keep the 10 million. Go on and take that with you.
Well,
Shout out to
you
Big
know,
John.
you know, you're not guaranteed to wake up no matter what.
Yeah.
So there's no guarantee. Matter of fact, you might pass on the 10 million, wake up tomorrow, and by tomorrow afternoon be gone anyway.
Mm.
And your people still ain't got that money. And I know a lot of people that could really use 10 million.
I'm sure.
So I'll lay down. I'll lay down for 10 million.
To save your family.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
But most people that get that type of money within 5 years, they're broke, right? Because they don't, because having $10
Or
million
less.
and maintaining $10 million are two different things.
Like I said, because we don't we being able to manage money over what they call generational wealth. That's not, you're not born with that. You learn that your family, your ancestors have developed that skill set throughout history. And so, to say, here go Dirty Dave from the hood. He never had nothing. No matter if I had a college degree or whatever, I even still with a college degree, there's no guarantee if that degree ain't in business. If I'm not a financial whiz, there's no guarantee I would know what to do with 10 million. Most people think, oh, I'm gonna buy so and so a house. I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna do that. We never think to incorporate and to, you know, have a living trust and all that. We're not trained that way.
And you know what, Dave? I just thought about this. Keffe D also alleged in his book that a bunch of your guys ran over there and beat him down with some bats and pipes. Called him at Toots.
They called Keffe D.
Yeah.
I don't doubt that.
Mm.
I don't doubt that. I've I've seen him. He wasn't really the most. He didn't have a real skill set when it came to the hands. So, but I've never seen him take a whooping. I mean, he always been cool. I never got into it with him, and he never, even though he was older than me, he never tried to punk me or bully me or nothing like that. You know, when he could have tried it, the very least he could have tried. You know, even when he was running the streets in the early '80s, you know, 84, 83, 84 maybe, 85, when he was hanging out at the burger stand on Long Beach Boulevard, and I ain't gonna say what he was doing, but you know, when there was a lot of desperados out there, T
I don't think,
Brown face,
Dave. I
baby
don't think
face.
there's anything you can say that would hurt him because he already don't said it all.
Yeah, but I still prefer to be a gentleman. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Me, for my own self, for me. You know, I don't what somebody would do to me, or what they might say they're gonna do to me, or how they might even do it. I
Uh-huh.
don't care about that. I don't care. I'm not afraid to die. I'm not. I'm just not. I don't. I've been beat up before. You know. So I mean, I it has nothing to do with. Believe me, when I choose not to say something out of respect, it has nothing to do with the other person, me being afraid of them, me anything like that. It's me preferring to be a gentleman, to be, you know, cordial, or to be respectful. You know,
Did you know T Black and Big Scatter from Kelly?
I don't. The names don't sound familiar. I knew dudes like Chico. Chico, the only one I can names. You know, name wise. I mean, I knew Tweety Bird, all those guys. I knew, you know, guys like that. Kilo, Chief Green.
Uh-huh.
They all knew me.
They all need you.
They all knew me.
So what is your relationship now with your sister, the one that got shot?
We talk. I mean, I never had a real close relationship with many family members, as far as, you know, not that I don't love them or anything like that. I'm just not a real touchy feely kind of guy. You know, I'm real standoffish.
Okay.
But she's doing good. She's doing real good. She's doing real well.
How old was she when she got shot?
Oh man, I want to say 18, maybe something like that. 19,
Oh yeah, she
18.
was young.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
She
yeah,
was young. Is she the one that's
yeah.
married to the football player?
No, no. It's
Okay.
oldest, my oldest sister, one that got shot.
Uh-huh.
My oldest sister.
Okay.
But I hear from a really, really reliable, good source that the three guys that did it, that shot her, that they didn't last very long in the game after that anyway,
Okay.
from what I understand.
Shout out to DJ Gary. Okay. So you don't communicate with your sisters at this time?
I don't call people. I don't call people. They don't call me. I like it that way.
Dave, you don't turn into a hermit, man.
No, I've always been like this. I'm not a people person. I'm not a
So
people person.
when your sister married Willie McGinnis from the Patriots, what was that? What was that for you? Did you care or didn't care? It was like no big deal to you.
Yeah, I mean, I had been around so many celebrities by that point that, yeah, no big deal. No big deal. You know, I would go over their house. There'd be people like Paul Pierce and Layla Ali over there hanging out, and okay, you know, no big deal to me. I
Cause,
could take it or leave it.
cause you was a neighborhood crip. maybe
They knew
maybe
that.
that's what your
They
problem was.
they knew that. Yeah, I mean, like I was desensitized at a real young age. I had seen and been around so much violence that it made me really, you know, just nothing really fazed me. I didn't, you know, I could, I mean, just big time liquor, like we were talking about big time liquor, man. Before I was 10 years old, I probably seen half a dozen murders at that store, at least.
Uh,
I mean,
so
I'm
you
not
became
talking about.
desensitized to it, huh?
I was desensitized. It really, over the long haul, it really, it caused an imbalance as far as me being able to, even with my kids. It's hard for me to be bonded to them emotionally. It just, I love them, but you know,
So your sister named
from an
Gloriana?
yeah,
Okay. Somebody put that in the chat.
yeah, okay, yeah,
You
that's a
trying to
yeah.
figure that out? Big Dave was like,
No,
pause.
no,
Wait a
no.
minute.
I, I just was wondering whether or not I should take the fifth on it, but yeah, it's okay. Yeah, that's not. I never call her that, but
Okay. Yeah, you got
yeah,
some smart people in these chats. They be knowing stuff, Dave.
it was easy to find things out. We got the world at our fingertips.
Somebody said, well, I'll be damned. Shout out to Bolton. Said, y'all didn't know Dirty
Yeah.
Dave, man. He really committed to this Compton thing, y'all. So, over the years he's quite normal today, and he's living a respectable life and respecting people, and they respect him. He's not caught up in anything. He's certainly not hanging out with no Keffe D's.
Not lately. Not
There was a
lately.
guy, there was a guy named Orlando Brown, right? Orlando Brown said Keffe D and Tupac are the same person, and you can't arrest him if the man that he is died. I don't know what his rationale is that.
That
When he's
I've watched some of that guy. I watched some of his clips, and God bless him. He's he's an entertainer. You got to remember, when a person has entertainer in front of their name, you can't always take everything for face value. He's looking to shock people, and he's not really looking to inform. Just like people say, "Oh, Bruce Lee would have whooped Chuck Norris's ass." Well, if you believe that, I would have loved to put some money on Chuck Norris. You know,
uh-huh.
Bruce Lee was an entertainer. Yeah, he could fight, but he wasn't no world champion. These guys are entertainers. They're not, Dr. Dre, entertainer. Tupac was an entertainer.
He's an
These guys were
entertainer that wears
entertainers.
makeup, according to you.
He did wear makeup. I mean, that's part of being even no matter even now as an entertainment he's wearing as an entertainer you wear makeup to begin with to get on camera. I went and spruced up a little bit to get on camera. I didn't put no makeup on, but
Yeah, Orlando Brown said that him, Keffe D, and Tupac are the same person, and you can't arrest him if he's the man that died.
anybody who put face value on anything Orlando Brown is saying, first of all, I, but he's an entertainer.
Can't take these people
You know,
serious, Sunday.
no, not at face value. Get him outside of in a personal level, they turn into different people. First time I met Eddie Murphy, it blew my mind. I couldn't believe he was so sweet.
What do you mean by that?
You know what I mean? Well, Eric did the soundtrack for Beverly Hills Cop 3, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so he took me over to Eddie's house, and he didn't prepare me for what I was going to see. I'll just say
Okay.
that. And, but that's I don't care that, I don't care that that's what he preferred. That's on him, but you get the entertainer outside of that realm. They're different people.
That's 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 unusual, man. That is unusual, man. Eddie
And I
Murphy,
met a
man,
lot of,
zesty.
I met,
Eddie Murphy is
I met a
zesty,
lot of
y'all.
entertainers.
That's
I've
man.
met a lot of entertainers.
Yeah, that is something else right there, Dad.
Well, I
Well,
mean, it is what it is.
yeah. Well, you know how that is, Dave. I switch sides with you, Dave.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah,
You'll be
that's
surp- you'll be
that's
you
different,
you'll be
Dave.
surprised. You'll be surprised how many switch hitters are out there who you'd never even think it.
Yeah, cause
One one
go ahead.
one in particular. I ain't gonna blow up the internet, but it'll come out eventually. Maybe throughout this whole TVD thing.
Yeah, cause Keffe D said that when he went to Puffy's spot, Puffy came out was in the bathroom. He came out naked on him. Well, he had a towel wrapped around him. He said, man, he didn't know what he
He,
didn't know what was
he
going
said
on,
he
but
said
he
he
felt
said
like,
Keffe D. He said
huh?
Keffe D and somebody else. He said Keffe D and somebody. He said Puffy and somebody else was playing like they was lovers, or not playing, but they
Yeah.
was acting like a couple. But none of it surprised me. I've seen it. I don't indulge, but I, I I don't judge either. So that's I don't think that a person preference define who they are as a person.
uh,
If you ever if that's what you prefer, then that's what you prefer. If you happen to be a actor and I like your movies, I like your movies. If you happen to be a rapper and I like your raps, I like your rap.
he said
I,
Exhibit
all
said
I,
something like that too.
all eyes on me.
Well, Dave, it's been a pleasure, man. Thanks for stopping by the mail room and dropping in and
Right,
dropping off the
right.
mail. We appreciate you, man, delivering the mail today.
And
It's been an honor. We got to
man, no
do this
problem. I
again,
appreciate.
Dave. You got to, man. You got to come with that heavy stuff that you got, man. I know you got some stuff, man, and you be holding back, Dave. I need you to stop holding back, Dave. I need you to
Well,
deliver. I need you to deliver the big punch, Dave.
well, we would have to talk first, and then we got to talk in private, and then
You always
decide
say
whether or
that,
not we.
Dave. You say we gotta talk, man. How many times we gonna talk, Dave?
Well, what I mean is make sure that you ready, because I
I'm
mean,
ready. I'm unfiltered, bro.
you,
I don't have no
you say
man.
you.
I'm not
Well, what
covered
I'm what
with
I mean
none of these
what I'm what I'm
dudes.
well what I mean is, you know there sometimes, let me tell you, like I tell people all the time, greater men, way greater than I, have lived and died by the words they speak.
Uh huh.
So,
But it's also I call balls and strikes. Whether you blue or red, balls and strikes down the middle. That's it.
well, it's okay. It's okay to be cautious of some of the things we say. Sometimes the
Well, I'm
public is
not
not
saying
ready.
we're gonna talk about anything that's gonna be incriminating, Dave.
Well,
Nothing
I'm not
like
worried. I'm
that.
not worried.
I
I'm not
want to
worried about
stay.
that. I would
I want to stay
I would never allow that.
I want to stay with the jurisdiction and legality of the conversation. I want it to be, so nobody gets in trouble or anything. We got to know the jurisdiction and as far as
Well,
statute of limitations.
I can be more entertaining. Like I told you, we've kind of grown expeditiously together since the first video I did a few months ago. I'd
Right.
never done anything like this before, so you see the difference, that I'm getting more comfortable, and it's a process,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a process.
And make sure you just go by the barbershop, Dave. Go get a haircut, bro.
You gonna pay for it?
Yeah. I'm gonna pay
Hey,
for
look, I don't mind looking the way I look.
it.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
I just
I
messing
wait,
with you, Dave.
when I sent you that picture, I didn't mean for you to post it, by the way, but you did, and I'm cool with it though. But I sent you that picture, and that was a time when I used to really be meticulous about the way I dress, what I wore, the way I look, everything. And not that, not that I don't care, but it's just, to me, it's not that important anymore. I rather people see me for what I am, in order, instead of me putting up a facade and pretending to be something that they can't even identify with.
Right,
So,
right.
if this make if it makes me comfortable and another person ain't comfortable with it, oh well, fuck 'em.
Right. Well, shout out to the Mailroom
Not
Nation,
you.
to the Mailroom Goon. We got Dirty Dave. Dirty Dave, we'll talk to you soon, bro. Appreciate you.
All right, brother. All right,
Okay.
big brother. I'll talk to you later, bro.
Okay, right on, Dave. Appreciate you. We had Dirty Dave in here from the In Hood section of Compton. We can always get some interesting points of view from Dave when it comes to that section over there. We just had to get him a little bit more comfortable, and where he just opens up and talk about this how that game is played out over there. But nonetheless, I am Professor Melly Mail, the Hood Postman. Be sure to drop a comment down below. So when the notification bell, click it. It's gonna feel like the 1st of the 15th when this dope hit. I'm telling you, don't underestimate it. So I appreciate everybody that stopped by the mailroom today, and we are on. Marlena Williams, you know what it is. We're gonna go ahead and lock the door. Shawty, take us out.
For grind all the time, baby.
Yeah. Cali Finest, baby. Proof of grind all the time. Music money. Got a dollar sign. Hub City. I'm a street nigga. Streets fuck with me. I'ma keep pushing products till the fans get me. It's guap off top. Diamond Cartier. That nigga wall won't give a broke bitch the time of day. They see me climbing. They see me shining. That's hard work. Proof of grinding. New money got me tipping in that 550. I leave bad man and I'm so pretty. I got that tech with me. That's my hater sprayer. Go big, grind now, nigga, play later. What can I say? I'm addicted to this paper stacking. And I don't talk about it, I just make it happen. Word on the block is that my shit go. Freaks for the low.
Marlena Williams, go ahead and lock the door, because we are gone.